everyone, this is Pico Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you, and we're going to take a look back at the dark, tense hostage thriller called Cohen and Tate. Released back in January the 27th, 1989, it stars Roy Scheider, Adam Baldwin and Harley Cross, and it was directed by Eric Red. It follows the story of a man named Jeff Knight, who with his wife Martha and 9-year-old son named Travist are living in a witness protection program, and they're hiding from the mob who feared their knowledge of a previous murder. However, their protection doesn't last long when two assassins named Cohen and Tate attack their safe house, killing all of the FBI agents and Martha and fatally wounding Jeff. They kidnap Travist, who they want to take back to the mob, who wants to find out what exactly he knows. With Houston as their destination, Cohen and Tate set out a long drive throughout the night. However, things go anything but smoothly as they encounter several obstacles along the way, with their identities constantly under exposure. The young boy Travist attempts to escape several times in order to save his life. Now, when looking back at Cohen and Tate, it's a very tense, suspenseful, noir-esque, compelling thriller. Despite some implausibilities and exaggerated elements, it largely works, gripping you all the way through to see exactly what happens at the end. And the key element here is the single time setting. Minus the opening, which is quite brutal, and also the final act, the movie takes place completely at night, focusing on the three primary characters. Yes, we get other characters involved throughout the travelling, whether it's the police or people at the garage station, for example, but for the most part we remained zoned in on the trio and their overall situation. And within the night time, this movie is so reminiscent of Michael Mann's urban noir classic Collateral, a film that also was mostly contained in a car, focusing on the relationship between two characters. Cohen and Tate similarly has that narrative, providing that caginess and claustrophobia. One minute we get a banal conversation, and then all of a sudden we get a reflex or an outburst which could spill into something far more toxic and explosive, and this is what retains that suspense. And like Collateral, we get references to what's happening on the outside, the numerous news updates of Cohen and Tate's activities, whereabouts and potential identities. We see the activities of the police searching for Travist and other innocent bystanders that both assassins use to their overall advantage. We get some background as to who the mafia might be and what exactly they're after, but all of this for the most part is through the exposition of the main characters, giving us the viewer enough information but never taking away from the main focus. We understand what's exactly at stake and why the characters are doing what they're doing, and that's enough to keep you involved, and this film keeps it very simple and not overcomplicated. But it's the character dynamic that really elevates the story, and both lead actors' performances are absolutely crucial. As Cohen, the late great Roy Scheider is on the surface remorseless, meticulous and completely in control. This is in contrast to Adam Baldwin as Tate, completely crazy, twitchy, reckless, and if not psychotic, then clearly mentally unstable. And yes, as a performance, it's erratic, over the top and a bit cartoonish and cliched. With his imposing height and leather jacket, he's borderline like the Terminator, especially as we get toward the ends of the movie. This man is a complete melting pot that can lose his cool at any time. Now, no context is given for his bipolar personality or why he's constantly losing his cool, even when the assassins have their hostage and are in complete control. But for all for Baldwin's inconsistent performance, this actually helps the movie, given that unpredictability and also intensity. Whereas with Michael Mann's Collateral, we had conversations about the philosophy of life and how it should be lived, we don't get as quite deep conversations here. For the most part, it's Cohen trying to get the job done, and Tate being constantly provoked by Travist, losing sight of the clear goal, and Cohen trying to keep an absolute control on the situation. Now, what benefits here is that neither lead is sympathetic. Yes, Cohen is the more controlled and level-headed, but he is still as evil and only protects Travist in order to achieve his overall goal and get paid. We do get one scene where it looks like Cohen is wanting to deliver a letter to send to his daughter, or maybe some money, but we don't get anything further than that, and I think that's very thankful, as it keeps the movie from getting bogged down by any emotional weight or involvement. Now, we do also have to credit Harley Cross as Travist, who convincingly portrays the fear, anxiety and trauma that a child would go through with an ordeal like this. He also shows resolve and resistance in a believable way without getting too annoying. And for all of the containment inside the car, we still get some action, whether it's a car chase as Cohen and Tate pursue a police officer who has Travist in custody. We get a very tense sequence as the police are surveying cars through the traffic, and Cohen and Tate have to improvise quickly in order to avoid capture. And as I mentioned, when we get to the climatic moments, as perhaps as silly as they come, it still provides a lot of excitement as we get an eventual confrontation between the two assassins. And the only real criticism I could give this movie is that the conclusion feels a bit abrupt, and we could have had a much more rounded story and possibly a more happier ending given what Travis goes through. But again, I don't think this is enough to spoil the movie overall. So when we look on its release, Cohen and Tate was very much a forgotten entry within the 1980s. It is part of the fabric of the more darker half of the decade, where we were dealing with far less sympathetic and heroic individuals and far less happier endings. But I still look at it as a very underrated entry within the decade, very tense and exciting, somewhat of a high standard masterclass in how to generate real tension and excitement with a limited scale and relying much more on character interaction rather than large scale action set pieces. And this is definitely something that a lot of modern day thrillers and action films could definitely learn from today. So those were my thoughts and feelings when looking back at Cohen and Tate, very much an underrated thriller from the late 1980s. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any other further movies, television series, or any other topics within the pop culture and entertainment scene that you'd like to see me cover within the channel, then also let me know within the comments, and I will see if I can provide further commentary for you on that subject matter within the future. Please also hit like the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you very, very soon.